I'm a waitress and I, F24, have a huge crush on a regular customer. Help! I, F24, work part-time as a waitress, trying to pay off student loans, and I have a huge crush on guy who tends to come in for breakfast or lunch a couple of times a week on the days I'm working. He's handsome, super sweet, and I'm pretty sure he's single, but I'm not 100% sure. If I had to guess, I'd say he's 25 to 27. I've gotten to know him a little bit, since we sometimes talk if I'm not too busy. He said he moved here a few months ago. I'd love to ask him out, but I have no idea how, and plus, I get really nervous around him. Whenever he comes in, my manager always makes sure I get him since she knows I have a big crush on him. His bill is usually between $8 and $9, but he always pays with a $20 and tells me to keep the change. Do you think that might be a sign he likes me? My manager said she's seen him drive a really expensive sports car a couple of times, so the large tip might not mean anything. But she said she catches him looking at me quite a bit and said he never comes in when I'm not working. Considering I'm kind of a shy person, what's the best way to ask him out without being extremely embarrassed or nervous? My hands are sweating just thinking about it. TLDR, what's the best way for a shy girl to ask a guy out who's really handsome and outgoing? I'm nervous, a bit intimidated. Update 1. I have good news. As I mentioned in my original post, I normally work Friday mornings and he comes in for breakfast at the same time every Friday. Well, I had the day off and decided to show up for breakfast at the same time as him. It worked out perfectly. I sat down in the area where he always sits and waited. About 10 minutes later, he walked in the door and saw me sitting down ordering breakfast. He came up to me and looked a little puzzled because I wasn't wearing my uniform. He asked if I had the day off, and I said yes. He said, "That sucks, you're my favorite waitress." I also did my hair and put on some cute clothes that morning, and he noticed because he complimented me and said I looked really pretty. I could feel my face getting hot. I probably turned 10 shades of red. LOL. Next thing I know, he asked if he could sit at my table with me. I was so nervous. Guys never give me butterflies, but he gives them to me all the time. But I acted totally normal and tried not to be a dork. Haha. Normally, I'm very shy around him, but he made me feel comfortable and was super easy to talk to. We sat and talked for a while before our breakfast came. It was so much fun. My manager was the one waiting on us, which she never does, but she's been encouraging me to make a move on him for quite a while. She was so happy for me. Anyway, I felt like he was giving me signals the entire time, which made me a lot more confident. So I finally worked up the courage and asked if he'd like to hang out some time, and he agreed. We swapped numbers, and he's been texting/flirting with me a few times a day ever since. Since we've been texting, I've learned that we both enjoy hiking, so I suggested that we go hiking and check out an old lighthouse, which isn't too far from where we live. He just moved here, so he's never seen it before. We live on the Great Lakes, northern Michigan. So that's what we're planning on doing this weekend. When we were texting last night, he mentioned that he'd like to go to this fall festival, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, and wanted to know if I'd go with him. So I playfully said, "Are you asking me out on a date?" And he said, "Yes." "Will you please go with me?" Smiley face. I'm so excited. Thank you all for your help on my original post. You guys gave me a ton of great advice. I can't believe how easy this whole thing was. Now I see what men have to go through when it comes to asking women out. Anyway, thank you, Reddit. TLDR. Success. We're hanging out and going out on a date. Update 2. First of all, thank you, Reddit. I sincerely mean that. I was just a shy girl with a crush on a handsome stranger, and to think that he's now my boyfriend is just nuts. I can't even describe how happy I am. 2 months ago, I left off by mentioning that I was going to take him on a date and show him around the area a little bit since he just moved here. I talked about how we both love hiking, so I planned to take him to this lighthouse, which is only a short drive from where we live. I was afraid it was going to rain, but it turned out to be the perfect day. We packed a little picnic and spent an afternoon hiking. I thought it was so romantic. We had a great time. Over the next couple of weeks, we continued to see each other and go on fun dates. I wanted to take things to the next level so bad, but I wanted to wait to make sure he felt the same way about me. After a couple weeks of dating, we were hanging out at his place one night cuddling/watching a movie, and that's when he finally asked me if we could be exclusive. It was the best night. So we've been in an exclusive relationship for a couple of months now, but I feel like I've known him forever. We just click. Anyway, he has a huge family, and they had Thanksgiving last weekend, which I was invited to. He begged me to come. I'm a shy person, so I was a little nervous, but they made me feel so welcome. His mother's a total sweetheart, and his dad is hilarious. When we were leaving, I gave his parents hugs, and his mom says to me, he talks about you all the time. He's like madly in love with you. My boyfriend was so embarrassed. I've never seen him get so red. Haha. I invited him to my family's Thanksgiving as well, and my family loved him, which was a huge relief because my dad hasn't liked any of my past boyfriends. But he immediately took a liking to him and had to show him around his shop because they're both into cars. It was so nice to finally bring a guy home that dad approves of. And of course, my mom and aunts thought he was a hunk. LMAO. Talk about awkward. Anyway, I just figured I'd let you know how the date went and that we're finally a couple. Thanks for all your help a couple months ago when I wanted to ask him out. You guys really encouraged me, so thank you. TL, DR. We went on several dates, and then he asked me to be his girlfriend.